As a freelancer, you get paid based on the value you create. A client is not somebody you save.
Right.
A client is somebody you collaborate with. Experience is what people usually pay for when they are getting into a course, because otherwise they can get the information for free anywhere. You need to make sure that the client has some sort of a leverage before you take them in.
Saheli is literally the Naval Ravikant of freelancing, talking about leverages and all that. Hi everyone, I am Ishan and I'm here with Saheli for the third podcast that we are shooting. Hi, how are you Saheli? How is life?
I'm doing well, and right now I'm just in awe of the society Ishan lives in.
Are
Because it's like a paradise.
lifestyle upgradation. We'll talk
very
about that as
beautiful.
well in this video. But this video is going to be more about how she has gotten more opportunity as a freelancer. I see a lot of you are trying different niches, but today we'll be talking about a different type of niche and how can you get opportunities in that. We'll also talk about ways in which you can get clients through other new domains and methods, right? So we'll talk about that as well.
Sure.
But Saheli, last time we did a podcast, it was back in early this year, I think.
Yeah.
So about like 7-8 months ago.
Yeah.
How has life changed? What opportunities have you gotten? Which Ferrari have you ordered? Tell me all about that.
I've not ordered a Ferrari, firstly, but yeah. So I think life has changed a lot in the last in this year. I have become much better with managing more people. So I've been finally able to manage my agency. I think the first time ever we talked, I told you कि agency मेरे बस की बात नहीं है.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a person who can deal with a lot of people at the same time, but I'm really working on that. My freelance revenue and percentage-wise also has like definitely increased a lot more than what it was. I have explored a new model of payment from clients, that is having a stake in their revenue. So basically I get paid a lot if the project does well, but it also means that if the project does not do well, or if for some reason the project does not come to execution, then I don't get paid at all. So it's a riskier model, but then it has been giving me much better freelance income than it used to in the past. And yeah, I think those are the major updates right now, and I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah. Let's go deeper into that thing that you talked about. You have increased your revenue as a freelancer when you started taking a stake of the revenue that your client was generating.
Yeah.
Is that something that you would recommend other people to also try out? And if so, how can they pick the winners that they know that they will win and then they are taking a stake out of it? And isn't it create a fear in your mind as a freelancer that the work that you're putting in, you might not get the return on that as well? Just go deeper on that.
Yeah, so I think I don't recommend that for newbie freelancers for sure, but it can be something that you have on top of your mind that you'll execute it in some time, or you can take that risk with a client that you already trust quite a lot that they'll do well. If you want to charge on the percentage model, there's two very important things. One, you need to have a solid client and you need to have a solid business acumen. If you lack either of these, you are not going to have a profitable project. So I have worked with 3 projects that have fully completed the first launch this year in this model. 2 clients did terrific. Like one of the clients accounts for like 80% of my freelance revenue. But the third client actually abandoned the project after 1.5 months.
Talking more about the client that walked away, right? How did you feel after that? Like you put in your effort and the client just walked away, right? How did you feel?
Yeah, so of course the client did not just walk away. It's just that I think after 1.5 months, the client decided to deprioritize that particular project that I was working on. Now, of course, I understand that, but then when I got into this model, I knew that I'm taking this kind of a risk. It's probably not going to happen that all your clients do terrific, but if you are a good judge of character, for example, the other 2 clients, I set up a business for them from scratch in the edtech space. So of course, it makes sense for them to pay me in percentage. A lot of people make a mistake of going to somebody who already has a business set up.
Right.
And then saying that I'm going to do your social media or I'm going to do your website, will I get a stake? And they don't get it, of course, because they have proof of concept, they have set something up. So if you can join someone in the inception phase, that will be really good. And of course, you need to make sure that the client has some sort of a leverage before you take them in. So there's 3 types of leverage. A is skill leverage. That is, the client has some sort of a skill that is really good. If you can combine that with, let's say, your social media skills, you'll be able to sell their product a lot.
Right.
But if the client does not have skill leverage, then you cannot really help them market their product because they're not even good at what they do. How good can you market a product that doesn't even really exist? Or the client can have a network leverage, as in they may not have a huge audience, but the audience that they have is like very targeted. So you can help them ideate an offer for them that will be really high ticket, maybe some coaching or consulting, etc. And I talk specifically in these terms because I work in the service-based industry. And then you can help this person with your skill set because they at least have the network leverage. And the third type of leverage is social leverage. Social leverage is when somebody is really popular in a certain circle. So what happens is that if they launch a product that the mass needs, they will be able to make a lot of money with it because they have that social capital already. I now just need to craft the messaging or the offer for them. I need to make sure that they are doing good market research. And yeah, that is how I kind of combine with that. So your client also needs to have any one of these three leverages. A client is not somebody you save.
Right.
A client is somebody you collaborate with. Whatever result you will create for the client can do it on their own as well, except that if you're with them, they'll probably 10x or 20x that. Exactly. So for example, you know work with clients in the video space, right? Now, if the client does not want to make videos at all, no matter how good you work, the videos won't look good. Right. But if they are like photogenic, they just don't know, or they like creating videos, but they just don't know how to optimize it, then it's a fruitful collaboration. So a lot of freelancers make a lot of bad decisions and work with whoever comes their way. Don't do that. Filter your clients because that will kind of make your reputation in the market, and then word of mouth se hota rehta hai.
Right. Saheli is literally the Naval Ravikant of freelancing, talking about leverages and all that. All right. Let's talk about the next segment of this video, which is going to be about course creation, something that a lot of you might not be aware about, but Saheli has been working in that domain for quite some time, so she'll share her nuggets, her wisdom on this topic. So let's do that, but before that, let's change the frame of this video as well. All right, we are back in our pool, here in the pool. Okay, enough of those jokes. Let's talk about course creation, right? So walk me through the whole process that someone goes through in this domain of creating a course, right? So everything from the landing page to putting the video out to making the ads, that is what you've been working in. And what opportunities can a freelancer have in this space?
So freelancer as in like working for people who make courses and all.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would say if you're a freelancer who wants to work with people who are course creators, because they have a lot of work, course is a very scalable thing. So usually when they hire a freelancer, it is long term and your income also increases as their course grows. It really depends on what the person is teaching, that what their model would be. Now personally, as a marketer for such course creators who make in crores, I can tell you that there's a few models that I love and a few models that I don't love. So the models that I love would be like those of Ankur Warikoo, like there's only one level and there's nothing after that. Or I also like models where there's two levels, that is, there's something very preliminary and then there's an upsell and that's about it. But personally, I do not resonate with courses that have like, $499, okay, you get it, and then you get to know that you have to buy something again that is worth 10 or 20K. And then you get that thing again, but then you get to know that you need to buy another thing that is...
There's one more level to it.
Yeah, there's another level.
2.5 lakh course.
Yeah, that's like 50. Usually after that, it's like 50K to 1 lakh level. And then after 50K, 1 lakh also, you are like upsold something between 2-3 lakhs and
like
all.
Dan Pina and all of those.
Yeah, so that is also there in India, and that is not the model that I like or resonate with, because I feel like as a consumer, I mean, after spending 10,000, 20,000, I want to know everything. Otherwise, I don't want to know anymore. A couple of my friends only recently, they took a class on getting clients in 3 different ways. And then the upsell is 10 or 20 ways to get clients. I think that is fair enough, because even if you don't buy the upsell, you still will know the 3 ways to get the clients. But what I don't like is that if it's a LinkedIn masterclass and they tell you 2-3 things about LinkedIn, and they're like, okay, now you need to buy this to get the whole of LinkedIn. Because then I feel a little cheated. So that is the way I market my clients' products, or I would like the word of mouth to be.
Essentially, the first round of the webinar should not really be a complete upsell to the next one. It should more offer value. At the end, it could be like a thing that you can learn 10x more with this next thing.
And I think like if you want to get into this industry, 2 skills are very valued here. A, copywriting. If you are the person writing the marketing messages for this, if you are the person writing the emails for this, if you're the person, kind of deciding what the flow of the webinar would be, or writing the landing page, which kind of makes the conversions for this, you will be very highly paid, because just a 2 or 3 word change sometimes has made change of like 1%, and 1% can mean like 1 or 2 lakhs sometimes. Right. Secondly, of course, marketing strategy. There's a lot of people that think that, you just build a course and lots of people buy it and that's it. Yes, that happens, but that only happens with a very strong marketing team. So if you can have that acumen to understand where the ideal audience of that course is hanging out, how do they, resonate with you, what do they need to hear to make that purchase, then you will be able to not only grow that course, but actually demand a market revenue share of that, because you are like the mind behind it. Without you, it would have not made that much money as it did. So definitely that is another area of upskilling. And the other area would probably be if you are somebody who's really good with funnel design. And this is a little advanced. If somebody is really skilled only, then they can do this. A lot of people think, and when I tell them that I am making like multiple lakhs for a client, they think that I must be doing a lot.
Right.
But I just know how to put the right elements together to make the revenue thing happen. Because as a freelancer, you get paid based on the value you create.
Right.
And of course, it's not going to happen overnight, but 3 to 6 months of hardcore focus, you tell me if you are not making a lot of money after that. It's kind of impossible, right?
Yeah, yeah. Talking about that making a lot of money topic, there are a ton of...
Yes.
No. I have a genuine question that audience might be having, right?
Yeah.
So on YouTube and on other sites as well, we see a lot of people who are trying to impart knowledge and trying to sell their own course and having like a free workshop that then leads to a very high ticket course, right? And they say that you can follow your passion, you can make a lot of money through doing that. So a genuine question that the audience might be having is how realistic is that for them to get to the levels that they promise that they can get, because they themselves have gotten, but maybe they are not exactly telling the whole story, right? So a lot of these people who talk about courses that they can get to make a lot of money, many of them actually make money through those courses and then say that this is the revenue that they generate from their freelancing business. So is that something that you have experienced? What are your thoughts on this? And what should the audience really know when they are looking at all of these things?
No, I don't think like if you are at that scale that you make a lot of money, that you can afford a Ferrari, you will have a lot of time to, show off that Ferrari, because you'll be so busy working. Right now, I think I don't even make that much money, but like my whole day just goes in talking to clients. So I don't really have the time to enjoy life most of the times. Maybe once or twice.
With that?
Huh?
Are you fine with that?
I'm fine with that right now, because I know that when I need to take a break, I can easily take a break for 1 week, 2 weeks without even justifying it to anyone. So I'm working for that freedom and not to chill every week. So I want to chill whenever I want, not like every week or something. In fact, like I stay very driven for months and then I want to relax. Something that I can tell you is that a lot of business coaches especially, they don't have any other business except their course business.
Right.
And that is definitely a problem. So if you're considering getting somebody's course, do a little bit of background research on them. So yes, I can definitely tell you that a lot of those business coaches' primary business, or probably the only business they have, is the course selling business only, which means that their experience has become kind of obsolete in the area that they're even talking about. One of the biggest reasons why, although I personally also have a course, I don't quit freelancing, because otherwise I won't have experience to talk about, and experience is what people usually pay for when they are getting into a course, because otherwise they can get the information for free anywhere. So one thing that you should definitely do is some background research on that person. If they have a YouTube channel or an Instagram, when was their first video, when was their first content? That gives you more insight into the person and their growth than anything else, because if their first piece of content is about how they grew their business, then you know that it's a big red flag.
Right.
Because most people go through a journey of becoming and unbecoming and
like
learning.
Helly used to be a book reviewer
I
back
still
in the day.
talk about books.
Now she has left that channel altogether.
No, I still make one video a month on that channel. It's just that with life, it's not possible to make regular book related videos, because that's a more relaxed part of life, and उतना relaxation का time अभी और नहीं है. So हाँ, I would say कि आप थोड़ा research करो on the person that you're thinking of buying from. Apart from that, yes, you need to see what they are promising. If the promise is something like a life of, becoming a crorepati in no time, like luxurious lifestyle upgrades, usually it's probably not gonna be worth it, because those things you cannot really enjoy unless you have reached a huge stage in life. And that takes some time.
They tend to show the byproduct of the hustle and the work that goes into it.
Yeah, but the hustle is the most real thing there is.
Definitely. All right, the next segment is going to be how to get opportunities and how her life has changed once she has been getting stakes from the clients that she's been working with. Let's change the background because there's a bhaiya over here. So let's do that. Okay, now let's talk about getting opportunities as a freelancer, right? So you've recently gotten a lot of leads from LinkedIn.
Yes.
Just want to talk about how LinkedIn can be useful for freelancers.
So how you get leads on LinkedIn is basically, if you can make content that huge chunk of people can relate with, or if you can make content which is small chunk but a very targeted people can relate with. There's no in between. Now, I like targeting masses because I feel like it gives me a lot of leverage in multiple ways. I do a lot of marketing and social media for clients. So if my own social media does not have a huge following, how am I going to convince a client that, I can do this for you? Right. So that's why I have to have some sort of a mass appeal, although my services don't really need mass appeal. So I think a lot of people get confused if she's a freelancer, why does she talk about such broad topics? The reason is that I need to show that to a client to tell them that, hey, I can do this for you too. Now, it's important for a social media manager, but it's not important for somebody who does, let's say, sales funnels or makes beautiful landing page designs. Then you don't need to have a mass, but you need to have, let's say, some step-by-step breakdowns of the important elements of a landing page. Things that show that you know what you're talking about. When you reach the right person, they'll see this and they'll be like, oh, this guy or this girl knows what they're talking about, and they're gonna come to you and they're gonna ask for your services. And that is how you convert on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is one of the easiest ways to get clients right now. It gives you great reach. You can easily connect with people you want to serve. And also, the average income of somebody who uses LinkedIn is, according to a report that I read, 73% higher than the average of Facebook users, for sure. So it's definitely one of those platforms that can afford to get you better paying clients just by the nature of it, without even any headwork there. LinkedIn Pay also, I've been able to connect with a lot of people in like higher positions and founders of big startups and pitch them my services and have connections and network with them because of the sheer fact that they are active on LinkedIn versus other platforms. So definitely LinkedIn is a platform you must use if you're a freelancer. You don't know what door it will open for you, but it will definitely open some doors for you. वैसे तो ये segment ज़्यादा बड़ा होता, but भाई साहब ने
SD cards were full हो गए guys. Haven't been making much revenue, so I could afford better, bigger SD cards. So we'll go to the house and then shoot. Let's do the clap once again. All right, so I'm back at my house. The next segment is about lifestyle upgradation. So like, what new insight have you learned in the past 7 to 8 months of being a freelancer or starting your own agency?
Quite a few things actually. The first thing that I have learned is that if you have a lot of focus, you'll be able to work with anyone you want to. 2 years ago, I used to see the top marketing summits or like the top people in their industries, and I used to be like, shit, I just wish someday I can meet them. I can just see them. And this year, I have not just met them, I have partied with them. I have been in their rooms and discussed their inner thoughts, and it has felt really unreal that, okay, this is happening with me. So I think if you want something really bad, just focus on it, you'll be able to get it. From all the people I know, my own journey, it's not luck, it's consistent hard work that compiles over years. So if you want something, you will be able to get it. Just believe that you can, and don't look anywhere else. Just hardcore focus in one area, you'll be able to get it. So that is one of the biggest insights, that anybody can do whatever they want to if they want it bad enough. The other insight is that there are two types of clients. One type of client is the kind of client who will nitpick a lot, will be very obsessed with results, and always keep you at the edge because they want so much from you. The other type of client is, once they hire you, they'll leave everything up to you and you need to get things done, and they'll pay you for it. Previously, I used to think the second type of client is better because, of course, they won't create hassle, they won't bother me much. But now that I work on the revenue-based model, I have realized that the clients who are more involved in their processes, as long as they are not trying to be they are trying to act like a know-it-all, they're open to learning from me. Usually they get better results than those who, give work to a freelancer and they think the freelancer is going to take care of everything for them. Now that I have a stake in their revenue, now I want the first type of client more, the kind of client I did not like in the past. That has been a huge change in my mindset, in the type of people I work with. And at the end of the day, as a freelancer, you also want your client to get results and not just deliver and khatam. Then you will not be able to last long term. And the third insight that I have is that when you work on the revenue-based model, the initial phase of work is really hard. Like if you onboard a client, you'll probably be working for them 6 or 7 hours a day per client. And that is definitely very hard. But once the process is set up, the revenue stream, once set, is set. Now the next month, the work is drastically less. However, your income keeps growing because the revenue is growing. Right. So right now, there's a client for whom I barely work maybe 1 or 2 hours a day. And I am making over 7 lakhs a month from that one client. But I put a lot of efforts in setting things up. And of course, this kind of clients are also very happy to pay you this kind of money because you were with them when they had nothing in this side of the business. This kind of model is not easy to pitch, I can assure you. I have friends who have agencies, but the percentage model is really, really hard to pitch for anybody because it takes a lot of your skin in the game. Of course, you can't take a lot of clients in this model because A, you can't take 2 clients who are doing the same thing because it becomes conflict of interest. Like if you have a good strategy, who would you give it to? B, you also get a lot of experience. Right now, I have clients in finance, parenting and health niche, and you got a lot of experience. And right now I know how to raise a baby and I don't have one. Because
Weird experiences, weird learnings.
Because when you're marketing someone's product, you need to know it as good as they know it. So of course, it's a lot of experience, and I think that you should work for the experience first and not the money. The money comes. Like right now, I don't even know.
If not the money, you'll learn how to raise a baby at least. Which might come handy.
Exactly. Right? You know, after a point, you don't care about the money anymore. You just want the experience. And I think I have reached that stage and I'm very happy with it.
Tell us some free resources that you've recently encountered that have helped you out a lot. Some maybe podcasts, maybe some videos or some books or some blogs that you recently encountered in the marketing niche.
Okay, one person I highly recommend is Gary Bencivenga. He's one of the lesser known copywriters and marketers in the industry. He has this resource called Marketing Bullets, and it has a lot of good and actionable marketing tips. So that is one of the resources. The other resource that I want to recommend is swipe.co. Now it's a popular one for sure, but still a lot of people don't know how to use it. I really like swipe.co because it gives me access to campaigns that have already done really, really well. And I take a lot of inspiration from that for my personal work and my clients' work, because it kind of reduces the work I have to do. So these are two resources I personally really like. Podcasts, I really like Alex Hormozy's YouTube channel a lot. I also really enjoy Seth Godin's content, like everything about marketing that I execute. So storytelling is a huge base or foundation for the kind of marketing I do, and that I learned from Seth Godin. You can really find a lot of content from him that is 1 hour long, 2 hour long, and you learn a lot about marketing there. So these are some resources I would recommend anyone, and it doesn't matter even if you're not somebody in the marketing field. If you have a business, you need to be advertising it. So why not learn about it? I think every business is about having a product, marketing it, and delivering the product to the client. That's all. Like every business is that. So if you don't know the middle part of it अच्छे से, then of course you're going to take hit in your income. So marketing is for everybody.
Very interesting. Now that you've been generating multi-crores for your own self, how has life changed? Are you buying luxurious brands? Are you buying houses, cars? What else are you doing?
No, not houses or cars. But on my birthday, I gave myself one branded, shirt. That's it. Like usually I don't have a lot of lifestyle upgradation, because what happens in business, some months are really, really good. Like there are months where I've made like 20, 25 lakhs. And there are months where I've made less than 5 lakhs or so as well. And if my lifestyle cost is so high, the month I'll not make good enough money, I'll be worried, I'll be stressed. I don't want to live in that stress. I am working to, live a stress-free life and a chill life. And that chill life, if I start having lifestyle upgrades, it'll come at the cost of losing my mental sanity on the bad months.
Makes sense.
So I don't invest in a lot of lifestyle upgradation. Yes, of course, I take more trips than before, but that is because I will also do some work on the trip. If the first thing you do after you raise your income to 1 or 2 lakhs a month is like increase your expenses, you went wrong right there. You need to increase your skills, because I feel like 2 years later, 1 or 2 lakhs will be nothing.
Right.
It'll be 5 or 10. That will be the big deal. So you need to constantly upskill to become that person who can beat the market consistently.
We're talking big numbers here. Audience is like clickbait kar rahe ho, ye kar rahe ho, wo kar rahe ho. But the thing is that you have to first have belief in yourself that is possible. Like making 5 to 10 lakhs a month is possible, and then you can make it into a reality as other people and us are making. Another,
by the way, inside my bhul gayi. If you work with people better than you, you automatically become better. So try to get clients who are like at some stage of life that you would like to be in, and see how you can add value to them. Even if initially you have to work for a little less or even free, if you think that relationship can be something for you. But again, that takes a lot of acumen. So developing that is like a soft skill, like a really soft skill. But once you develop that, you're going to be unstoppable.
Right. This is the insight I also had. So money you can monetize once, you can spend it, but the connections and the experiences that you have, you can monetize it infinitely many times.
True.
So that's a very important insight for people to understand. Thank you so much, Saheli. What are some funny experiences that you've had as a freelancer or a creator? If you might want to share some of those while you were not recording, you talked about that.
Okay, so this actually happened that somebody saw me on Bumble and got kind of obsessed with what I do, and they thought that it's a fake account or something, and they started researching a lot about me, and now they are one of my customers and they have bought one of my products.
Right.
And they came to a meetup I hosted just to confirm if that was my real profile or not. Like, of course, I don't have a profile on Bumble anymore, but that was definitely very funny.
Funny, you know, even I had that instance. Someone on Bumble just reached out to me, and then she's like, "Tell me how to make money. How do I do all of this?" That was a weird experience that happened to me.
Yeah, like if you meet us on like for dating purposes, like keep it to dating. The amount of times I've met boys on Bumble who are like, "Can you give us a job?
Yeah.
Can I become your client?" And I'm like, "Dude, you killed it right there."
Awesome. Saheli, thank you so much for joining here. I hope people got to learn something from this podcast. Go check out the previous 2 podcasts that we've done, linked in the description. Check out her Instagram as well as her YouTube. She has been making some really interesting content. Her stories are really insightful. She shares some really nice resources that you can definitely take a look at. Thank you so much, Saheli, for joining us here. And if you're still watching this video, write in the comment section, Saheli OP. Thank you so much. And we will do one more podcast soon.
What does OP mean?
That they will tell.
Okay,
More
I actually
engagement.
don't know.
What does OP mean, guys? वो भी बताओ comment section.
All right.
चलो,
अभी
bye-bye.
bloopers आएगा कि फिर we do clap again.
हाँ.
Do we need to move?
भैया कुछ रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं. हाँ. थोड़ा रुक सकते हो क्या आप?
5 मिनट.
5 मिनट रुक जाओ. 5 मिनट रुक जाओ बस. है ना?
ये भी ब्लूपर.
This में जाएगा. Hi everyone. Today I am with Saheli for the 3rd time we are shooting this video.
This is so weird. Sorry.
How are you?
In
How are
person.
you? How's life?
Can you do it from the top again?
ये क्या बात
ब्लूपर में डाल देना. Sorry, मुझे
She's
हंसी आ
not
गई.
photogenic, videogenic, guys.
अरे यार, in person कभी किया नहीं है ना, तो
अच्छा,
बहुत
कोई ना. Let's do this once again.
awkward लग गया.